This is a mini project. Last day you will all be doing presentations, so be ready for that. Okay, so in this case, the idea is to do a deal structure, do a little bit of licensing terms and financial arrangements as well, and you have to first also understand what is the know-how, what's IP, right? What is being transacted, what is needed, understand each party's motivation, and then design it accordingly. So it's a group exercise, right, which all of you will be participating, and I'll be requiring all of you to contribute. Each of you will present, okay, not just one person from the group. Okay, let's start with this. So there will be a case. I'll describe a case to you. Okay, I will be. So Pragnya is just coming. If you have any questions relating to the licensee perspective, you can ask me. Okay. If you have a question relating to the licensor perspective, you can ask Pragnya. Okay? We'll have a bunch of people there, but I think you should first start thinking. We'll for some time today, but tomorrow will be more time when Ashley, Dick, and John will also be walking around. What you need to do is form teams. So all of you are in teams. Understand the case and the Excel sheet. Ask questions if you want right now, right? And consider various options and recommend a deal structure as a presentation. So your end outcome is a PPT, right, which you will present. Pragnya is able to join in? Okay. So time plan is today we have some time. If you guys want, we can do that one exercise which we missed also a little bit of time, but rest of the time I think you can spend on this particular exercise. 60 minutes tomorrow we have again for working on this, and then finally we'll be presenting it on day 5, and all our experts will be there, including Hirvani as well, so there'll be 5 people giving you some comments. Okay. The final structure will look like this, right? So this is available to you. Slide 1 is about what is available for the transaction, right? You need to understand what you can sell to the potential licensee out here. Okay. Slide 2 is understand the motivations and the goals of the parties, and also the projected path ahead and milestones. So you want to understand why they want it, how it will progress, okay, over a period of time. Slide 3 is the licensing structure and terms you wish to propose. That's got to do that doesn't mean the financial arrangements. It just means the structure, right? What do you want to license? Is it a license? Is it a non-exclusive, exclusive, assignment, option, whatever? Is it limited? If it's limited, how? All of those kind of things, right? The financial terms and other terms, including fail-safes and precautions, right? Which, of course, you can summarize your Excel sheet of key points that you learnt from it and why you decided to do it that way. So the presentation will be about 5 minutes and these 4 slides only. No extra slides. Okay, so summarize whatever you want in those 4 slides. Okay, and if you are a team of 3, you can decide one of you can do 2 slides. But if you're a team of 4, each one does 1 slide at least. Okay, is that clear? Fine. So that's the plan. Here is the case. So I'll go through the case a little bit. Pragnya, our other team members also will be joining in, right? Walk around.
Yeah.
That below thing is going on.
Yes. So currently, me, Mugdha are here. I'll invite others to come.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here is the case. Party 1 is a publicly funded R&D lab. Okay. Party 2 is Praj Industries. Praj is one of the industrial biotech big names in India out of Pune. Okay, that's your. Their main revenue model is EPC, right? They execute projects, EPC projects execution. So what they will do is they will go to a client's location, set up the whole plant, offer the technology along with the plant, show that it works well, and then leave it. Okay, that's the way they do it. So here is a technology. Technology is a novel biosynthetic process for making D-allulose. Right, Pragna, have you shared this slides also?
I have now put it in the drive, so they can access it right away.
Okay, can you just maybe send it also on the WhatsApp so that they have that? Okay,
do that. Yeah.
Okay, so process is a novel biosynthetic process, so it uses biological methods for making D-allulose, right, from fructose, and basically D-allulose is a low calorie non-protein sweetener. It's a sweetener, but it's a non-protein one and it's low calorie. So, the know-how components, the first know-how component out here is a process for making enzyme E. So, it happens like this, that first an enzyme is made, that enzyme is used to convert, say, fructose to D-allulose. Okay? And the second is process of using E to make D-allulose. These are two processes that, there is a knowledge base out there on how to do it. This kind of the lab will provide a technology manual to the company saying here is a recipe for it. Okay? And the patents that cover it, they have a patent for a novel genetically engineered organism for producing E, for this enzyme, and this novel enzyme E. Okay? The patent coverage they have in India, Brazil, US, EU and China likely to be granted. Patent life is from 2020 to 2039. Right? The value proposition of the technology, it gives you 20% higher yield compared to existing processes, and it's stable and reliable production, and Praj does not have a process technology already for it. This is the first time they will have it. Some Japanese player has another process with which you are comparing and saying you can produce 20% more. Okay? Stage of development, it's a lab scale production at 5 liter scale. That's what they have right now. This link goes to tech briefs which are available. Let me just show you the maybe if this works.
I have shared the presentation on WhatsApp so everyone can access it, PDF file.
Pragna, is this something I can open on the? Yeah, okay. So here is the case. Okay. By the way, this is a real case, right? So this is actually from a DBT lab. So you can browse through this later. I'm not going to run you through the entire thing, but what is D-allulose? You can see it. A little bit of market opportunity. Who should be interested? Why? About the technology. As a low calorie sweetener. Okay. This is the current status. Okay. This is where it stands. Okay. So you have this with you. You have, you know what the patent scope is. You know all of that information. You need to figure out now what, you can ask questions, but basically you are essentially trying to put a deal together which will bring both all of them together, right? The data available, the market size the global market size is $150 million. CAGR is 14%. Price is $1 per kg. Average size of the plant that Praj will put up is 3,000 tons per year, right? Means there are, 50 such plants. That's about $30 million per plant opportunity, right? Margins are 30%. Further development and scale up cost, this is margins on sale of allulose, okay, deallulose, right? Don't get confused with other things. Further development and scale up optimization, demo plant, techno-economic report, detail engineering, all that they are going to do. Praj is going to do, party 2, and it will take them 12 months to do that. And then, and they're going to incur a cost of about $400,000 in those 12 months to get all of that done. Likely revenue model for licensee, that means Praj is going to go and sell, say, a 3,000 ton per year plant, right? The EPC part of it, of setting up the plant, all of that's about, worth about, they'll get paid about $8 million for all the equipment that they will set up, plant set up, all of that. Technology and performance guarantees for the first 3 months. Within the first 3 months, they will collect about $4 million, and they will have milestone payments of $1 million annually for 4 years on meeting performance targets, right? And in all doing all of this, Praj has a margin of about 40%. Okay? So this is the data that's available to you. No, separate. So in each deal, they're making 8 plus 4 plus 4. Okay? Okay. So this is what you have to do. In the first slide, think through what is going transacted, all of that, motivations, some of the things to do, including do your Excel sheet, licensing structure and terms, financial terms, right? So this is the plan. Okay. So now, any questions? Dick, this is a case that they're going to present in the last day. So it's of a process technology, right?
You have given 2 profit margins, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just meant to confuse you a little bit. Use the right one, right? You can use the right one.
Can you explain what exactly?
One is only about the product itself, right? When on the $1 per kg, right? And the other one is for the EPC contract, right? Yeah. So now, let's start with this exercise, right? But before, so any questions first before we get started? Any questions for me and any questions for Pragna? Any questions for the R&D lab? Any questions for Praj?
I am the R&D lab, right?
You're the Praj. You're Praj.
Oh, I'm Praj.
No,
okay, no. I think I'm R&D
you're
lab.
the R&D
In
lab?
the next slide,
Okay.
I'm the R&D lab.
Okay, sorry.
You are Praj.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm licensor. See? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she is CIAB. And I'll be Praj.
The scale up of this enzyme is at what stage?
It has been demonstrated at 5 liter scale, lab scale.
Okay. And the next process, converting fructose to deallose,
Yeah.
it is in the media or it is outside the culturing stage?
No, it's in the broth. So you have to extract allulose.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these
Some
two
of the
are-
questions I will let each table ask separately also, because then that will be your edge. If all the questions come here, then everybody will have the same information. That's also not fair.
When will they go for commercialization?
So they have said that they will take 12 months to do the entire scale up, optimization, demo plant, techno-economic report, detail engineering package. So at the end of 12 months, they're going to go to customers and say, I have all of this, give me an order and I'll set it up, right? You can assume maybe that it will take another half a year to set it up and get it commercial. But when the deal is closed, it's 12 months, right? You get a contract, okay? and you're ready to go. So the payment terms are 8 million first, 4 million, and then another 4 in each one every year.
What is your capacity? Like how many plants you will be able to do per year?
Yeah. So what? That's a good question. Okay. So what we have put down here is that each plant is about 3,000 tons, right? 3,000 tons.
In that slide only it was there.
Yeah. I was just
top.
looking for the. There's a second number somewhere. Market data.
Yeah, market
Yeah.
data above.
Okay. So there are about 50 plants, right? You can assume that they ramp it up in such a way that every year they're able to add an extra plant that they can do. In sense 1, 2, 3, 4.
It will be one plant per year.
The first year definitely one.
So it will take 50 years to make 50 plants.
If that's the case, but you're right. See, there are 50. There is a, I think somewhere here there's a calculation for.
Running expenses.
Yeah. There are a total of 50 plants out there. Average size of the plant is 3,000 tons per year, right? Now you need to understand, but the Praj can scale that up, okay? They can do more. But what is the market available? That's the next question also. You need to understand, is the market growing? How many new plants are going to be put up? All that has to be thought through, right? That numbers are available here. So you take a growth rate and you can think of how many more plants will be put up. Yeah, some data is redundant here. It is
Some
meant-
data is for confusing you. There is only some useful data which you have to use to make
Yeah,
your Excel
please.
sheet.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Yeah, please.
I am confused about one point here. So it says likely revenue model for licensee.
Yeah.
Technology and performance guarantee of $4 million.
Yeah.
That $4 million, so are they receiving it? It says
Yeah.
the revenue model. They're receiving it. Who are they receiving
So,
it
so
from?
the way this company operates is that they go to a large company and who say have a very large supply of fructose, and they say we will set up a plant for you.
For you.
And it will be our technology. We will set it up. We will show that it works. It delivers the whatever we are claiming that it will deliver. Okay, and against that, when we show you 3 months of results of performance, you can pay me
Pay us
$4
$4
million.
million. I got it.
Right?
Yeah.
But this is for, but they're also setting up the whole plant. So that there's a
Right.
cost of goods,
And then they
of
pay the
all the
milestone
materials, all the plant, and then every year they're going to earn about $1 million annually for the next 4
Okay.
years.
I get it. I, for some reason, was thinking that those were related somehow to the license, but that's not. No,
this,
that's
this,
for
this
their,
is off
their
the
customer.
licensee.
To their customer.
Yeah, the
Yep, got it.
licensee is selling to the. Yeah.
Likely revenue model has been given by Praj or has been assumed by the inventor, means R&D lab, this last one?
This one? Yeah, so this has been figured out by the R&D lab based on their estimate of how it's likely to happen. Yeah, you can keep that as a if you want, right?
No, if it is by Praj, then we have to consider.
See, this you can back it, right? 3,000 tons per plant, that we can figure out because there are other plants around. That's the right size is what we can.
If it is given by Praj, then we don't have to see it because our deal is between Praj and R&D lab. So
Yeah, but it's unlikely that Praj will give you these numbers, right? They won't tell you how much is my margin. I will not tell you my margins, right, if I'm Praj. Okay? You have to estimate it. But Praj is a listed company.
Yeah, my
Okay.
question. My
Yeah.
question is to the licensee.
Yeah.
Are you
License, CIAB or Praj?
CIB?
Okay.
CIB. So, are you planning to give completely exclusive rights?
See, as per DBT norms, we are not allowed to give exclusive licenses, but there are certain conditions under which there can be some period of exclusivity. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. That's the kind of size of the plant that they will need to set up, for which each plant they're going to earn 8 million. Okay? Yeah, it could be, but for simplicity right now you assume some number, because you don't want to unnecessarily complicate your calculations, right? What do you get by putting a higher capacity? At best, you'll maybe say capital investment is higher, or maybe the margins are higher. Whatever it is, you can take a rough guess. So what data you have got right now from studying around is that most of the plants which are there out there of somebody else, the Japanese counterpart, is about distributed about at 3,000 tons per plant, because they need fructose and they need local sources. They don't want to transport it. Okay. This is not the R&D labs. This is Praj. No, that is what the value addition Praj is doing. So Praj is saying, I will take your laboratory process, 5 liter process. I will do the rest, scale up, development, all of that. And I will take the risk of giving performance guarantee to the big company, say maybe Godavari biorefineries. That's my job. For that I will create value for the company, my shareholders, right? Your question is, what should you get? Yeah.
How about the other markets? Are they going to go there? Or?
By the way, they sell their operations for bioethanol are there in maybe 100 countries, and they control 8% of the global bioethanol capacity.
Okay, so other countries also will be giving license to them.
You can ask. We are interested as Praj. We are interested in license across the world.
Just for information, allulose has demand all over the world, and yeah, so that can be a data point for you to design your term sheet. Okay.
Yes, any other questions?
What is the annual running expenses for one plant?
Annual running expenses. See, I have given you the margins for that deal. Do you need to know the annual running expenses for the plant? Margins in the deal. Right? So, why do you need to know the running cost of the plant?
It is required because this is the new technology. Some already technology is already existing in the market. This is an alternate of that technology because it is giving higher yield.
Yeah, but Praj doesn't have this technology so far. I told you that.
Some plants must be there because the total global demand is 150 million annually. That is the total demand with the current technology as well as the alternative technology.
Yeah.
So some established or some setup already is there.
Yeah.
And there may be some margins also.
Yeah.
So how these 30% margin is incomparable to alternate existing?
The price of the product is going to be the same, deallulose, right? Raw material cost is going to be the same. Your process is going to produce, where's the number? Yeah. Your process is going to give a 20% higher yield. Okay? And it's known for stability, right? Which other people don't provide a very stable kind of a process, right? So it fluctuates kind of production. Yeah, please go ahead.
So a question.
Yeah.
A question. So we have a patent on the novel genetically engineered organism. What about the organism? Do we have access to the cultures themselves? Is that?
Yeah, that's a good question. We wanted them to discover that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, they do have. They do have, but there is a caveat there, so that's one of the key issues also in such cases where the organism, do they have full rights or not?
Commercial rights, licenses.
Right?
How much market share Praj is expecting? Market share Praj is expecting.
How much market share Praj is expecting? Okay, that I think you have to guess, right? I won't tell you that. So, see, we think that with this 20% higher yield, right, we can beat the competition quite a bit, right. So, there are existing plants, but we can actually take a much larger share of the market, right, a very large share of the market.
In continuation to Richard sir's, what
Yeah, capacity. Yeah, that was a question which was asked, that can you, how many plants can you set up in, right? Yeah, so my suggestion is you assume that we can meet all the requirements, or all the new requirements that are coming up currently, we will be able to meet, because you have a growth rate number available, right?
So I think we can tell them that you can set up more than one plant every year.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, so we can build as many required, we can scale it. Scaling is not a problem, okay?
Sir, as it is a genetically modified organism, so it can be patented. So, do the company have the patent of the same? Or
We
what
have
of the
a
process?
patent for the novel genetically engineered organism. Yeah, we have. Yeah, it is there, and we also have a novel enzyme HE here, which produces that 20% extra yield.
But not for the process.
Right?
Sir, not for the process.
Well, see, the process is.
Not for the organism, sir, for the conversion, the whole process.
Yeah.
So
You can assume that this know-how component process for using E to make D-allulose with this enzyme E is also covered. So we will put that there. Sorry, I missed it out. Yeah. Claim covers.
So there are know-how components and patent components both. So you can take them together as a package which is going.
Yeah, so there's a Japanese company that has an alternate process. Okay, they are the originators of this technology, right? And but they're not willing to license.
Though the Japanese company which is in existence, they just give the distributorship rights to people. They do not give the technology. So they give the finished product, you can distribute it in your own country.
In this case, the license is also transferred, some licensing is happening with the people, or it is just like...
That is for you to decide now.
Yeah.
That's
a
you
good,
to decide.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because I have to work with a party who is actually going to produce it.
Yeah.
So what rights do they need to have? So you as Praj should ask for those rights.
So I think...
See, we have presence all over the world, right? Wherever fructose is produced, we want to be there, right? But you have coverage of patents only in these domains, okay? These domains. India, Brazil, US, EU, CN.
China.
Is there any patent which can stop it from producing?
You can I think stop me, right? So you're asking if you have freedom to operate.
Yes, we did the FTO analysis and there is
You
freedom
can
to
assume, but
operate.
we will not give you any assurance.
Yeah. Having said that, we cannot give it in writing, but we have done our own analysis. You're free to do yours also.
Across the globe you have done it, or you have done it in only specific countries?
No, we have done for these patent coverage countries, I would say. Let us say. So.
I think now you guys can start thinking about it, right? What I suggest is if you have specific questions, take the next 10 minutes to discuss, list them and then call us.
Can
right?
I suggest one thing, sir?
Yeah.
I think few of them had specific questions for Richard.
Yeah.
Can we take those first? Because he would be leaving this session at 6.
Ah.
And then they can start discussing.
Okay, sorry.
We'll start with you. You had question for Richard.
Dick, are you open to taking some questions, please, from your session? We didn't have time. Maybe use this.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to know if I have some technology and somebody is there who is a subject matter expert and he goes all over the world to give speech or you can say conferences where he finds people who are interested in that technology which is owned by me. Okay. But that person is not at the moment, he is not a manufacturer, he is not into that business. So he wants my technology to sublicense to others, but he will not consume it. So is such kind of transactions happens?
Well, let me make sure I understand it. So you own a patent,
Yeah.
and you have an expert who is associated with you in some way, just an
Yeah.
advisor.
Yeah.
Okay. And he or she goes out and finds some entities, companies who would be interested in licensing
Yeah.
your technology.
Yes.
Okay.
And actually he's saying that suppose he wants my technology to get transferred to them through him.
Oh, through him. Okay, so he wants to be he wants to be a licensee.
Licensee, and they would be sub-licensee for me actually.
Yeah.
For him,
Does that happen? Is the question,
Yeah.
does that ever happen? Yeah, sure. Now, normally, so the one little twist here, so it frequently happens where, especially for us, when we go from the US and I go to another country, in particular, if I go to another country, we used to do this in India, I would always find an exclusive licensee first. I would never license non-exclusively because India's too big and I'm not here. So I got to find an exclusive licensee. But it's almost, I can't even think of a time when it was a single individual. It's usually a company, right? Usually a company. The twist you give me here, so I have no problem with it, it makes sense, great. If you're okay with it, you don't mind if this person goes out and creates these revenue flows, it's not a competition for you. Why not?
In that case, okay, I would charge then I would say.
Can you just mic?
I can normally in case of licensee, we know sales projections and we calculate the profit and share. In this case, I will have some terms to get share from sub licensee when he will do sub license.
Yes.
But how to charge him on upfront? Because it might there may be successful cases of sub licensing, there may not be.
Well, it's all to be negotiated. I mean, you could do a lot of different things. I mean, is he going to do anything other than sublicense?
At the moment, no. But in going forward, normally in our case, our industry, customization to the best technology is required. So at the moment, he will take our support for that. But in future, he will have his own engineers to do that. You can say improvement to the best technology.
So I don't know what what the license fee ought to be, but it's going to be pegged to some of the factors we've talked about today. You know, if you're going to license him exclusively, is he, and then he's going to go out and sub-license. Is he adding any value to the technology, to your technology?
Technically not.
Okay.
At the moment, he's saying that if there is any value addition required, we will support as a owner, because at the moment he doesn't have any staff to support and to say upgradation.
So if he was going to add value, then I would very clearly say, well, if you go out and find a sub-licensee, I'm going to give you some kind of a share of that sub-license license fee because you've added value. But if he hasn't done anything except for knock on a door and done a deal, I'll give him probably a success fee, but it's not very much. And usually the sub-license royalty flows directly to you. And he's going to say, well, I want a share, so you're going to have to negotiate that.
No, the problem is that I cannot pay him a fee.
You can't afford it.
We are not. The transaction is not allowed in like in our organizations. Like We cannot have agents basically.
Oh,
No, no. So if he's doing a sub-license, right? So let's just, it's too vague. Let's just take a case, right? No, no, let's take a specific case. So for example, there is a licensee who has licensed something from you, okay, whatever it is. That person goes and gives it to 10 other sub-licensees. That's what you're saying, right? He's taking on that responsibility. Your agreement with this guy is that I'll give you a license against, say, a upfront fee and some running royalties. That means every time, right, this is used by anybody, right? Even if you go and give it to the end user, I will earn something. Let's assume for a moment that's the case, okay? Now this guy goes and sub-licenses to somebody else. Your agreement says, let us say, that even if you sub-license, all my royalty terms will carry over to the next fellow, right, the guy, and that guy will pay me. So if it said 3% on sales, now your sub-licensee is also paying 3% on sales to you, right, because it's a pass-through.
Yeah, but I'm not party to the agreement between him and sub-licensee, right?
But
the money will come through him only, right?
well, so one thing we always do is we make sure in the license agreement, it requires that we approve in writing the sub-license. We get to read it and approve it.
That is there.
Okay.
So when the sub-licensee, you know who the sub-licensee is, right? So that'll come to you. But suppose, let's say, there might be a situation where, the sub-licensee is paying a flat fee to the licensee, right? In which case, you might negotiate different terms saying, I'll take 15% of that as a cut, right? That's my share of it, and that's it, right? So whatever you're getting, so every year you give me a report of how many sub-licenses you did, what you earned, and give me a cut of that. That's how it works.
All doable.
Yeah. These are the typical clauses that we see.
And the other thing we always put in a little clause that says that if the licensee goes out of business or their license terminates, the sub-licenses can remain, and then they become directly to you.
That is there.
Yeah. Okay. Were there any other questions for Dick from the session?
Small question.
Yeah.
Like I said that normally whenever we pitch to licensee, there is best technology and there are improvements required by the licensee. In that case, should we treat it as a separate project on cost basis? The improvement, best technology and improved technology.
The improvements?
I mean to say, suppose
you have your version 1 technology and then you have a version 2 technology.
to suit his, you can say battery pack or something like that.
Yeah.
I need to do some modifications to the existing technology.
Yeah.
So should that dealt as a separate project? I mean to say.
Separate license, you mean? Or should it be subject to a separate license? Is that what you mean?
Is it a license or is it like man-hour basis? I'm doing. My engineers are working to modify the.
No, that is just a service you're offering.
Yeah.
It's a contracted service, right? Technology transfer is more about giving rights to use a given asset, okay, of some kind.
That licensee is not interested in as is technology.
That's fine. So what that person is saying is, you do all these improvements from me and then I will license it from you. So what you will do is you will first do a project where he funds that development, and then as part of that project agreement, you might agree that I will give you a license at the end of it.
Okay.
Right? So there will be a fee for a project and then a license component. Do you want to comment?
And I guess what I was going to say is that you got to determine if you're going to do some service, because they want some improvements, developments, they expect that from you. So are you going to try to get that out of your license fee, just build it right into the license fee, and service is going to come along with that? Or are you going to have the license fee and a separate service component? You could do that.
Yeah.
But I guess for me the question always is, if we're talking about a new invention, if we're talking about just an improvement, kind of a tweaking to make it work better, then I usually keep it within the same envelope license agreement.
Okay.
But if it's a new invention that you make, I don't know.
It's not an invention basically. I'm just customizing it for.
Oh, okay. Well, again, I think that's a service. part of the service.
So you could, for example, as you said, craft a license agreement which says that we will do this in phase 1 and you will see the results. You'll be happy with it, and if you're happy with it, you'll take a license at this fee and close the deal.
Okay.
That's possible. So that's what.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a.
Or I guess maybe this is what you're saying, or maybe it's slightly different, but that is have a license fee, and then you're going to do a little bit of work to improve it and get it up to this point. Then they pay a secondary fee. Yeah, when you've demonstrated some deliverables that you've both agreed to.
Yeah. Okay. I think if there are no other questions. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got into a project.
Just tap it. Let's see. No?
So there was one collaborative project where we got into, and prospectively we are looking out for a patent generation in that. In that case, the client or the licensor is asking for patent rights for the ingredient that is going to be generated, and also sub-licensing of that for the manufacturers. There it is not about the ingredient manufacturing, it is about the process of using it in some application. So in that case, how it has to be approached? Because if it is going to be manufacturing the ingredient, yes, it is, because he is depending on someone to manufacture it. Sub-licensing there is viable. Whereas just to use it, their sub-licensing is not required is what we thought. But what is your view on that?
So let me make sure I understand the situation. So you've got a licensee?
Huh?
Okay, a licensee, and they're taking your IP asset?
Yes.
And then the question is, they're going to have someone manufacture for them?
They are not the direct manufacturers, they are going to be co-manufacturing. That is, they are going to utilize a facility to develop a product or produce the product and sell.
Okay.
In that case, they want to sub-license it. But our concern is if it is going to be the main ingredient that is innovated during the process, sub-licensing that is viable or like sensible. Just the process of using this ingredient need not be sub-licensed.
Yeah, so it sounds to me, and I need to think about it a little bit more, but it sounds to me like it's what we normally do. I think I mentioned this earlier today. We grant the right to our licensee to make, use, sell. Make, have made, use, and sell. So we include the right to have made. So we grant our licensees the right to subcontract to people who will companies that will manufacture for them. But those subcontractors must return 100% of the production back to the licensee. But they don't need a sublicense. I'm not sure why they'd need a sublicense. So in this particular case, if you have included have made by somebody else, you don't need a sublicense. And I would argue that you want to think about that quite a bit, because like I said earlier today, if you open it up for your licensee to have made by others, then it allows companies that aren't manufacturers, who maybe they're just really good at marketing and distributing, it allows them to become your licensees. And sometimes they're the best partners you could find. So it really opens up opportunities for your licensing. Increases your pool of potential licensees.
But they'll be holding the patent for the key ingredient. In that case, it cannot be made available for others also, because they're going to hold it.
Your licensee?
Yeah, the licensee who is taking, he has sponsored the project, so he'll be joint ownership for the project, like the IP, if in case we are getting into the patent. So
let's spell it out clearly.
Yeah.
Right? So let's say that your CFTRI, there's a licensee and or a sponsorer for a project.
Yes.
You're doing a collaborative project.
Yeah.
Both of you are deciding to hold jointly the IP.
Yes.
Now this gentleman comes and says that I want the rights to use it, so you give me exclusive rights for doing it.
Yeah.
and here is a person who is going to make it for me and give me, right? Allow me the rights that that person can make it and give it.
Yeah.
Now, your key ingredient is what the subject matter. That's part of the patent. Or
And the application, both.
Yeah.
It is going to be ingredient as well as the application.
Yeah. Now, that's fine. Okay. Now, if he's getting it contracted out to somebody else, do you have a problem with that?
Not actually, but they want to clearly indicate as a sub-license. That is going to be between them. So they have to sign an NDA between them and then they have to take it up. But they want to put across in the legal agreement saying that they will be at a free end to sub-license. So that becomes a problem because generally our guidelines doesn't allow the sub-licensing of such aspects because when certain things...
The rules for your institution, you cannot sub-license?
So normally it is non-transferable kind of statements are there.
That's the transfer of the license, not the sub-licensing.
Okay.
Sub-licensing separate from that.
Maybe
usually.
I got confused, but I'm not very clear
So,
on that.
so what that means is, if I had taken a license from you,
Yeah.
right, I cannot transfer that right to produce it to him.
Yes.
That's what it means when you say non-transferable rights. Sub-licensing is slightly different. Okay. Sub-licensing is that you're explicitly giving me the permission to allow so and so on the same terms or whatever agreed terms to produce it, okay, and exploit that given know-how or IP, right? You understood the slight difference?
And the sub-license is going to, for us, requires our approval, our written approval. We have to see the terms,
Yeah.
we have to agree to them, and we'll give them a signature that, yes, we agree on those terms. And the sub-license royalty flows back to us.
Got it.
There's a sub-license fee in which we have to negotiate with the exclusive licensee how we share it, if we share it at all. So that's all negotiable. But that's very different than if they just have a subcontract and we don't get involved in that.
No.
It's just that 100% of the production then has to be given only back to the licensee.
Got it.
And it's royalty bearing eventually.
Yeah. But they said like that they want to do a subcontract, but for that they wanted a sub-licensing rights. So that is where we had to have a consent because they don't want to disclose that who all will be there.
I'm not sure why they need a sub-license. Why not just have a subcontract to have that manufactured for them?
But by the way, that said, there's a larger issue here, which is that they are joint owners.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's...
Okay. That basically means that, they have to give you consent to give it to anybody else.
No, so
okay,
that
so
clause
that will never happen.
So that was the initial requirement from them. But now we have reworked on the clause. We said like the rights will rest with
you.
CSIR.
Yeah.
Only after this we will give them exclusive rights for application of certain products only, not for everything.
Yeah.
So that's how we have reworked. But initially they came up to the table with all these requirements.
Yeah.
So just so I'm clear, is it true that under Indian patent law, the two owners have to agree before they can take action with the rights to the patent?
No, it's actually part of the agreement. So if nothing is written up, each of them can act independently.
Yeah, that's the way it is in the U.S. Completely.
So that's a
complication.
Something to think about. That's why we don't like joint ownership.
No.
Okay. Because it's it complicates things quite a bit. There are situations where the other party, even though they're not practicing it, can kill it because they don't want to let it go to somebody else, right? Because they don't care about making money on that, right?
So we consulted all IP thing and then we reworked on that clauses. Thank you.
Just to clarify what you say, what I understand. Sub-license is one I have given you the license, and then in turns you can engage another 5-10 licenses.
Yeah, I can give it to somebody else.
That is sub-license.
Yeah. So, for example,
it's a parent-child kind of.
Yeah, like incidentally, I mean, you will come to this Praj case. You will need to use a sub-license. That's the task for you. How do you write your tech transfer deal structure such that you get what's due to you? See, the positive side of it is if they if they give to many more people, right, and you stand to gain from all of those people, wouldn't you like it? Now, let's assume everybody's honest here, okay, for a moment. Let's just work on that assumption. You would prefer that many more people use it so that whatever they are producing, on that you're getting your share, right? You would want to do that. But you are worried that, you know, it will be completely out of your control. So how do you structure that? Just think through it. That's exercise, right? How do you get a return?
And within a concept like that, you can have only one-time license fee, no royalty at all, royalty will increase.
Yeah, you can propose that also if you want, right?
So what is
It's all possible. Everything is possible.
just to understand what is the concept of why we give the sub-license? What is the whole objective behind that?
No, there are situations where people have to see. In this case, for example, the real producer is the guy for whom the plant is being made by Praj, na? So that, but you are not able to do that because you don't have expertise in developing the plant. You don't have expertise in engineering design for that, setting up the plant. You will not give guarantees. But that guy wants a guarantee, right? You understand? So Praj is creating value in between by doing this. So you're just enabling that process, that's all. And you don't have access to the final one, and they're not interested in dealing with you, let's say, right? Because they don't want to take technology with risk. They want to take technology which is proven, right?
Okay.
So that's an example.
The last question. Today you said that invention belongs to inventor, right?
Well, so what we do at Cornell is, as part of their employment agreement and also their research appointment or teaching appointment agreement, they agree that the inventor assigns
No,
the invention.
not in that context. I'm just asking, suppose as a licensor gives some technology to licensee.
Yeah.
If licensee does that some improvements, and if that improvement is not covered under that patent claim, in that scenario, if he is asking the ownership, he is not ready for joint ownership.
Yeah.
Okay. But should I claim the ownership? Should I say joint ownership? Or
Well,
should I only give him a right to use?
So, okay, so your licensee, an inventor, someone who works for the licensee, has made an invention, right?
Improvement on the base technology provided by them.
Okay, it might be maybe trade secret or patentable, right? So the question is, should you assert some kind of rights over that?
Yeah, means
So
should I claim?
and this is a good question. And I think it depends upon your philosophy. If you're a company, yes, you do, and you put really strict, you say, anything you invent using my patent, I am going to own those rights.
If that is a deal breaker?
Oh, well, here's the way we do it. And this, I'd even do this if I were a company. I'd say, you're free to invent with it's a free country after all. Anybody's free to use a patent. You go ahead, use my patent to do all the things, and go ahead and invent. And you can own it. But you can't commercialize it without a license from me, or without an agreement
But
between
when
us.
you say you can own it, does it mean a joint ownership?
Well, it's up to you to decide. You can decide how you would do it. I'd probably do
So ultimately it is
I
owned
might
by
do joint ownership. But here's the problem. When it's a patent, when somebody uses a patent to make an invention, patents are public information. So I have a problem with asserting control a little bit over public information. If they're using public information.
Yeah, actually.
But I mean, strictly speaking, you could also say that, I don't know about India, but is there a research exemption? Do people have the right to kind of...
They have a license to continue their research.
So they could continue to use it. I think if it were me, I generally like to have my partners, my licensees, go ahead and own it. But if I enabled you to make that invention, sounds like you did, I think we need, before you can commercialize it in any way, you need to have my approval, and that probably forces us back to negotiating license terms.
But one more thing is, suppose your licensee has built something on top of it, right? The fact that you have licensed the base, you will still be eligible for royalties.
Yeah, that's right.
After commercialization by him?
Yeah, because
he may not commercialize it. I mean, he will not further license it to somebody. He will consume for his product.
No, if he's see, you have licensed something. There might be some terms which say that I'll get this much money whenever you use it or sell it or whatever it is. That amount will come even if there is an improvement on it.
I agree.
Yeah. So that is still, that's what you did, right?
Normally, see, the clause in our agreement is like that. As he said, any improvement based on our technology will be owned by us.
Okay.
That is our default standard clause.
Yeah. So that is what typically corporates tend to do, companies tend to do. Academic institutions and so on don't do that usually.
Right.
Okay. Because the question is, what did they, if they have come up with their own invention, so one other rule is, whoever are the inventors, right? Suppose its inventors are entirely theirs, you can say the inventors institution owns it.
That is fine.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
particular clause is for the obvious improvements, not for the totally new so that you can recover.
See, in any case, I am going to get royalties.
Yeah. Finish your question. 1 minute. Yeah.
No, my question was the same.
Yeah.
I mean to say, I will again in a different way I will put it. See, basically, I told you the standard clause. Now he's saying no. Any improvement done by my company or my inventors will be owned by licensee company.
Yeah.
And here I mean to say, my company will not have any right on the improvements.
That you will not have any rights on the improvements, right?
Yeah, that's what's.
Yeah. So that, see, that you have to take a call whether it hurts your business or not, or your further development. But one part of it which he mentioned was research exemption. That means you as a research organization can have free rights to use it for research purposes, whatever is the add-on to it.
We would like to commercialize it, right?
No, then don't give it to him. No.
And the other thing, I want to make sure they're not going to be using any of your trade secret, are they?
See, deliverables, I don't know exactly, but the deliverables would be like algorithms would be there, some source code would be
If
there.
they're just using a right to license, under the license patent, that's one thing. But boy, if you have any trade secret, then I would clearly grab some ownership.
I would
control.
Say no trade secrets.
There's none.
No. Actually, in many of your cases where there are algorithms, those are, you'll be, in India it will be trade secret.
That's trade secret.
So you'll be doing a trade secret licensing.
Yep.
That means you're saying, I am giving you the source code, right? So anything you build on it, I will control it.
Here's what we put in our agreements. We say if we hand you algorithm or biological material, we say any invention which you couldn't have made but for access to our algorithm or our biological material, the way we do it is, you can't commercialize it unless we give you our approval, which forces the two parties to negotiate. So you keep control over inventions they make using your trade secret or your biological material. No.
I mean to say not commercialize.
Not to commercialize.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I
Commercialize.
would take it as like further selling that license to anybody. Or
No, that's commercialization. You can't do that. Under my rules.
No, that's what I got. But if he's using that in his product as a consumer, I would say end user.
Is it covered by your royalty?
Yeah.
Then I'd probably say then it's probably okay. Kind of like what Premnath was saying. You're still going to get your royalty on your basic patent. He's just going to get Is he going to get an added value because of his improvement?
No, for betterment of his product, he has done that improvement.
Yeah.
And
but
maybe
but see, suppose the product was selling at $10 before, whatever you gave, and you're getting say 10% in it. So you're getting $1 per 10. Now suppose he does his improvements and he sells it at $15. You'll get 1.5. No.
Exactly.
Good enough.
Or
That's
or maybe it'll increase his market share.
Yeah.
You're going to make more money too. So stand back and look at that too. Maybe he's
Yeah.
going to make life sweeter for you.
But all this will not happen if it's not a percentage. If you settle
Yeah.
for an upfront fee, then it won't happen. Right?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I
Thanks,
think,
Richard.
Dick, there's a copy there for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
cool.
that's
We are getting one more print for
we'll
the
be
technology.
evaluating all their final outcomes. So
Where's the slides? Oh, these are the slides here.
Yeah. They have to make this
When do
presentation.
they do
okay,
this?
we'll be walking around a little
20
bit,
June.
and you're free to ask
that
questions
Yeah.
to Praj or CIP. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do we have time for them to? When are they going to be working? They're working on it now.
Right now. Yeah. So daily they are getting 1 hour to work after the sessions are over.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow also
Oh,
they are
okay,
getting.
tomorrow. So tomorrow they're going to have a nice chunk of time.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to go somewhere.
Yeah, at 6.
Okay.
At 6. So we have a governing council.
Yeah, it's board meetings.
Yeah.
TechX?
So for TechX.
Yeah, and where is it?
In the OSS office where the
Oh.
three-day workshop was happening.
Oh, okay. A small group.
Small group,
Relatively
only 10
small
people.
group. Okay.
Only the committee.
How long does it last?
1.5 hours.
Okay.
And after that we go for dinner. Tire for the day.
Okay. Yeah, I may want to go back to the hotel.
Right now.
No. I'll go attend the board meeting. Good luck.
We have a question for Praj.
Oh, yeah, okay, good. Sorry, I didn't see you there.
3,000 tons.
Producing the
We have customer base.
have the strain rates, or you have the, I have the capability to have that as a vector, which I can other bacteria which is available for commercial licensing purpose. Or you can just consider that this is available genetically modified organisms. So whatever works for you, consider.
That is the growth of the market.
They have seconds like
The slides are there. These slides are there.
Yes, Raj. Raj. Okay.
Financial constraints. As a lab,
for setting up the plants. Yes. Yeah, but you see the customer.